Hey over there, Joel Lunchbox.
Joy Nightingale.
Today we've landed right here in Brooklyn, New York. We're actually standing underneath to the side of the BQE. You see it going right over there. In this recently new developed area called Industry City.
Yeah.
We're not here to show you Industry City. So we're here at the pop-up, the Museum of Failure. This is a traveling museum, and it shows you the world's largest collection of failures. This is like items that didn't catch on, didn't work, they just weren't meant to be.
They were failures.
Yeah, and we get to bring this along and share it with you. Hopefully this video is not a failure, and hopefully you like it. We'd like to bring you to some weird museums. This is something that just started in New York. It's here till May, so you still have some time to get here to see it. So hopefully this inspires you to come out and see it, which is cool. And if you like weird museums, because this is a weird museum, what you should do is make sure you like this video. We appreciate if you subscribe to our channel. And here, I'm giving you all a mission right now. As we watch and walk through this museum, looking at items that are no longer because they failed, I'm curious, would you have used any of them in your day-to-day life? Is there any items at the Museum of Failure you wish didn't fail and you could use? Comment down below which item you see throughout this video that you wish you could use. I think that'd be interesting.
That would.
All right, but I think it's time for us to head in.
Let's do this.
Museum of Failure. Step right up. Let's go for this ride. Museum of Failures. 150 failures. Open for a limited time, beginning March 17th. Get here now, because you got to see it to believe it. We personally bought our tickets online for this attraction. Oh, already starting. First failure, groove sticks. Look at that. Drumsticks that's split almost like a slingshot, one stick. And next way, who would have thought it? The 3D TV from 2010 to 2017. I remember when these first came out and it was like, this is the future. And my friends went out and spent thousands of dollars on 3D TVs that never really did what they wanted. Joy.
What?
Me and you are children of the 80s.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, you had a Walkman, right?
Well, yeah.
I had a Walkman too. I think most kids that grew up in the 80s had Walkmans. But did you have a Soundburger? Item up from 1983, the Soundburger, your portable record player. I was next to it and I was like, is it for styrofoam? What failed? Nope, it's the Fire Festival. Because they didn't have the food for the people. It's funny, some of these items I didn't even know were a thing. These are Amazon dash buttons. You were able to stick your Amazon dash buttons near appliances and it would know like, oh man, my washing machine, I'm running low on detergent, and get detergent? What?
Facebook's currency.
The Facebook lira failed? Only lasted 2019 to 2020. They wanted to make a global currency. The Facebook lira. Facebook portal. That's crazy. The USB mouse. We have to go in here. Died before it ever really began. Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark. Remember, it was supposed to be one of the most. What was it?
It cost $75 million to do.
$75 million. The most expensive Broadway production of all time.
Well, because it was supposed to be like.
And they had problems with. They had problems with the rigging. They had this problem, that problem. It lasted from 2011 to 2014. I remember, besides it only lasting for such time, it took so long for it to actually open. It was like, delayed open. I'm glad you're coming. Delayed open.
It's run with a $60 million loss.
$60 million loss is a pretty big loss.
It cost $75 million to make.
Yeah. Oh no, they didn't do good. It was a bad idea. A $700 price tag and a Wi-Fi connection for a juice that used single serving packets of chopped fruits and vegetables sold exclusively by subscription. Well, I don't know. It sounds like a great idea. I don't know why that one failed. We have something that upsets me. Blockbuster videos here, but I'm disputing this. Do you want to know why I'm disputing this? We see. One, because I have nostalgia. Me and Joy, when we used to first moved in together, Tuesday night was our date night, and it was consisted of us going to Blockbuster every Tuesday night. But there still is one Blockbuster left, Joy.
There is. And there was a TV show Blockbuster.
In Bend, Oregon. But people getting excited because Blockbuster's website, which has been gone for so long, just recently relaunched.
I heard.
And people are rumoring it might make a comeback. People are longing for those days of Blockbuster.
Don't tease me.
I'm not. It might not be dead. It might not have failed. I love the quotes throughout this. Medical mishaps. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Robert F. Kennedy.
Synthetic trachea? Yeah.
Synthetic trachea? I mean, good in theory, but no. Synthetic trachea seeded with the patient's own stem cells. So here we have Rely tampons. These tampons were made out with a new material, carboxymethylglycosis and polyester, and it absorbed so well, women weren't changing their tampons enough, and they were getting bacterial infections, toxic shock syndrome. And because it was so effective, it was actually causing death and illness, so they had to discontinue them.
Well, it even absorbs the worry.
It absorbs the worry. You have nothing to worry about when you're dead. We actually have items that were pitched on German Shark Tank. Pink gloves. Pinky gloves, these were called. And women hated them because they said they were sexist, patronizing, and incredibly stupid. But then you see a product that sounds weird in theory, and it might have worked, but it didn't. Here we have an item called Exuberia, which was the first inhalable insulin for diabetics. Now this actually didn't fail right off the bat. It was actually approved by the FDA for markets. The problem was, they were like, you don't need to worry about needles. It was very, very expensive, and it's very bulky. And because of both of those two negatives, it didn't work. But it actually functionally worked.
What This one's horrible, and I'm glad it didn't last long at all. You have the Kent Micronite.
So we have these pack of cigarettes, Kent Micronites.
That it was obviously cigarettes are bad; they're not healthy. This one had a secret ingredient. Asbestos.
Oh, Kent cigarettes, secret ingredient for that added flavor, asbestos.
But it wasn't just your typical cancer-causing ones. It was basically the ones that were more dangerous form of it.
Well, I figured it was helping you do the job quicker. Asbestos, my favorite. But I couldn't get my Kent cigarettes since 1956.
So these pills are basically going to be thalidomide. Thalidomide was a drug that for pregnancy helped get rid of morning sickness. The only bad thing is a lot of births had defects.
So if you ever see in like some sideshows, people that perform as like seal boys or stuff that have missing limbs or deformed limbs, some of that was caused because of this drug, and that was on the mark from 57 to 60. Make America Fail Again. Folks, before he ran for president, Donald Trump was primarily known as a businessman. And as a businessman, he was very familiar with failure. Some would say he was the best at failing. No one ever done it better. They're all saying, we're looking into it, and we think you're gonna love the results. I would give myself an A+ for failure. We actually have a full case of Donald Trump failures. Some actually say he might be the best at failing. From the Trump shuttle, I remember in '89 when that was going to be the thing. This is one of my favorites in this case. The Trump steaks. It was like Omaha Steaks, but it was brought to you by the Sharper Image. And you could get, prices vary for $199 for 12 steak burgers and 4 steaks, to up to $999, which had 16 prime cuts. You could eat like Donald Trump's luxury. Trump bottled water known as Trump Ice.
He sold them at his casinos and resorts and made them available for sale.
I don't know, something about Trump Ice, it sounds like it's gonna be more of a drug than natural, pure spring water. Yo, man, where do I get the Trump Ice? Yo, you go to Trump Castle and get some Trump Ice. Oh, and on top of that, we have just the Trump resorts failed. Trump the game. It's funny, from 1989 to 1990, then 2004. So it launched, and then it relaunched, and it still failed.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I thought it was actually talking about the Atari system. No, it's talking about the ET. No, and it says, and the console, that's so untrue.
Well, the console did fail. It only lasted a very short amount of time.
I played with it.
It might have failed, but without it, the other consoles wouldn't have been able to pass it and create amazing things. But the ET game is a failure. There's also a documentary about it, that they didn't know how to get rid of the game, so they buried them out in the desert somewhere. Weird, great documentary.
The Atari. I played it because my uncle had it.
Well, I didn't say it failed then,
we left it at our house, and we loved it so much that we had to unplug the game because the power button was stuck forever on.
But you have to admit, the other systems outplay the Atari. That's why we don't have Atari anymore.
Right.
Nintendo, then Sega, then.
You wouldn't have like the car racing games because there was pole position.
I remember playing Pac-Man on it.
Yep, there was that.
I remember all the games.
Fall in it. I never get out. Fall in it.
Watch, E.T.'s about to fail.
I've always done that.
Oh no, E.T., what did you do? E.T. Funny. This is a newer thing that didn't work. The Coolest Cooler had a Bluetooth speaker, built-in blenders, special your plates.
I like how it also had the bottle opener.
Bottle opener. I have to say though, this, besides Atari and Blockbuster, which I don't think are failures, they just times came to ends. This is an invention I wish I actually had. This is what I choose. I wish I could take this to the beach and make my own pina coladas sitting on the beach, listen to my music on my Bluetooth speaker. This actually I feel is cool.
So is that where the knife and like your plates were held? That's cute.
Hey, cutlery setup. We actually have an RCA Selectavision. This analog home movie system used phonograph-like player with needle to play video from a 12-inch vinyl disc. I knew of Laserdisc. I never knew of a vinyl system to play movies. And then we have a Betamax. I personally never had a Betamax. I don't know that many people that had. You know why? Because they failed. But the thing I'm surprised is, I thought it failed in the 80s. It says it was around till 2002. I like it. Elon Musk, inventor or failure? We've seen some things that were success, and then we have a bunch of things that were failed. It's funny, PayPal was voted the worst business idea of the year in 1999. Kicked out of his own company at PayPal. This is really interesting. We have some nylon pantyhose, and it says, research in early German polymer labs occasionally left a Bunsen burner lit over the weekend. Upon discovering this mistake on Monday morning, the chemists simply discarded the overcooked results and went on their day. 10 years later, a chemist in DuPont made the same mistake. However, rather than simply discarding the mistake, he analyzed it and it led to the invention of nylon. If the German researchers paid attention, they would have made nylon 10 years earlier. As I'm shooting this video on a Sony Handycam, I'm looking at a Fisher-Price video camera from 87 to 88. The PXL was a video recorder made by the Fisher-Price toy company.
Like, I know the Fisher-Price, like the cute little fake cameras.
Yeah, well, I guess they were trying to see if they could branch out and do something else, so they were trying to make a camera.
But you know how expensive that would have to be?
Yeah, more than the little kid's toy one.
Exactly.
I mentioned laser discs before, and now here we have them. Laser discs. Total Recall was actually my very first VHS movie I rented from RKO Video. HD DVD, yeah, they did not last that long. I remember when they were coming out and there was them in Blu-ray and everyone was like, which one should I buy? Should I buy the HD DVDs or the Blu-rays? Well, many years later, we know the right answer. This one I never seen. I don't remember this folding cardboard spoon. It's funny, the Museum of Failure has to give props to the inventor of the new spoon for nominating his own creation for inclusion in our exhibit.
That's great.
The inventor realized it failed him and asked to put it in the museum. They actually have a XXX section, mature content inside. We're gonna try to show you only stuff that fits with viewers of all ages. But we're going inside. We can't show you the whole case, we can show you some. Right here we have Hooters Airline from 2003 to 2006. Imagine flying with your flight attendants being your Hooters waitresses. Hidden behind that case, we actually have one of those flight attendants from that airline that failed. Just tucked behind. Miss, I would like my sleeping mask and my wings 3 Mile Island. We also have Lululemon yoga pants were a failure. They were $100 a pair, and they failed because when you were doing yoga in your yoga pants, there were certain positions, if you stretch the material too much, it didn't look like you were wearing yoga pants anymore. They were a little too see-through. The hula chair.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, definitely feels good. You actually can set your resistance and your times and all different stuff for your hula chair. I love when Edison was talking about making light bulbs. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. My friend Kayla, they're watching you, little ones. Kayla was an internet-connected doll that used speech recognition to communicate with children. That's a little interesting.
It's a little creepy.
It is a little creepy. But the problem was, everything the child said was being recorded, sent to data centers, and then sold to marketers who used the information to spy on children to record their interest in various products. Kayla also endorsed commercial products. She happily talked about how much she loved different products. This wasn't a coincidence since companies paid for this advertising. Joy, does this doll want a low 5?
It wants your money.
It wants your money, that's true, because his name was Little Miss No Name. Brought to you by Hasbro. You know, the company that brought you G.I. Joe? Designed this unusual doll to be an alternative to the hugely popular Barbie. In keeping with the climate of the mid-60s, they wanted to teach little girls compassion and realities of life of those less fortunate. Here's an idea that won't ever die. We have a football and a hat from the XFL. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. A co-venture between WWE and NBC grew on to make a more extreme football. It failed, you would think, but the company was just recently bought by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and supposedly is going to have a resurgence, a rebirth. I am a Rock fan, but I'm not a football fan. Would you watch the XFL? Snapchat Spectacles. These spectacles recorded short videos for the Snapchat video sharing platform. No, these are just my regular sunglasses. They don't have cameras in them. We have a wall of supposedly failed Oreo flavors. I disagree.
I disagree too.
Maybe some might not have been good, but that's not why they don't exist anymore. They don't exist anymore because Oreo makes limited time flavors and then they're retired. Yeah, they all say limited edition. They weren't failures, they just weren't meant to keep going. I just wish I tried all of them, like hot and spicy cinnamon. Yeah, good humor strawberry shortcake. I was also looking at apple cider donut.
We tried that one.
Okay, I guess it wasn't as memorable.
No.
Who likes Oreos?
I do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would try almost all these if they could still find them. This is what I don't like, how products are limited edition. Because say I tried it.
They have like a red hot.
I know they had a red, but say I tried it and cherry cola was my favorite. Limited edition, I loved it. But then I have to go out and buy like 50 boxes and hope they don't go stale so I could have them forever. One of my favorite failures. This is the product. The cooler was amazing, but this is it. Jarts lawn darts. I've been working for years with Joy for us to build our own personal auditorium in our basement. And I always wanted a cabinet of children's toys that failed. And I am searching for a pack of jarts, box with the darts. Oh, that would be amazing. But I didn't know that about this one that failed too. Cabbage Patch Kids snack time. Feed me, my mouth really moves. Little girl's hair would get stuck in the mouth and would chew it up to the ear. The mechanism just didn't want to let go. Etzel fell. Titanic fell. Hindenburg fell. Spruce Goose fell. See, this is where I believe the Museum of Failure failed. We have a DeLorean here, which yes, DeLorean did fail. But this isn't any DeLorean. This is a time machine. This didn't fail. One of the greatest movies ever, still goes strong. You can't say the DeLorean time machine failed, you can say the DeLorean failed.
It's the only all-in-one mobility solution of its kind.
Imagine a wheelchair that could go upstairs, raise you, lower you. You could dance.
Even stairs. So get close. Get in the
I just see this thing falling over and injuring people. That looks terrible. Segway. Oh, did it fail? What I think is crazy is 2001, we still go to some attractions or cities and they still have Segway tours. I wonder if they were the Segway company or another company started making this terrible idea. The way of the future. It's gonna be a game changer. Company would reach $1 billion. I love. Today the Segway is mostly used by security guards in shopping malls. And something crazy, sadly, a later owner of the company died doing what he loved, plunging off a cliff while test driving the new off-road version of the Segway. How did the Titanic fail? It's one of the biggest grossing movies of all time.
No, the actual ship.
Oh yeah. You know why?
The ship happened.
Yep, ship happens. The power glove. Now we're playing with power.
Just basically
Plug me in, Joy. I'm running out of juice. Oh, good, a human charger. Google Glasses. I remember when, at my old job, there was a lot of rich people, and when people would come in and they started wearing Google Glasses, thinking they were going to be cool, tech geeks forked over $1,500. Or rich people that didn't know what to do with their money. Don't they know they should have just given it to me? We don't just have the Nintendo glove failed, we have the Nintendo Virtual Boy also failed. You know who used to use this? Pinocchio used to use this. He goes, right now I'm a virtual boy, but one day I'll be a real boy. Orbits. We thank Canada for the wonderful invention of peanut butter, life-saving insulin, and of course, the Wonder Bra. But when it comes to sugary beverages, they fell a little flat with Orbit soda. What's funny is, when that came out in '97, I always wanted to try it, and I never did. If anyone has a bottle of Orbit sitting around in the comment section below, let me know if you don't want it, and we'll figure out a way to get it to me, and I will try Orbit soda, even though it's like 25, 26 years old now. This is what Joy thinks of that idea. Want something with flavor, make it even bold with bacon? The Arch Deluxe 2 by McDonald's. I know it failed, but I would give that a try. It actually looks not that bad. Oh, some of my favorite. Starting from that Arch Deluxe we were looking at. Easy Squirt, Funky Purple.
Ketchup.
I loved, we used to have this. I wish I still had in my bottle collection a bottle of it. Even more, with $5 off for a Grinch ticket. And where were these plushes when I was young? I want an Easy Squirt Stellar Blue plush. And I feel this one must have failed before it got started. I figure, Colgate, right? We think of it, they make toothpaste, they make stuff like that. Well, maybe they wanted to try something new. They wanted to make beef lasagna. It might have been delicious beef lasagna. We don't know. You know why we don't know? Because no one bought it because they thought Colgate only makes toothpaste. You like candy, right, Joy? Now, if you like candy so much, would you be okay if for Valentine's Day next year, I gave you AIDS? Want to lose weight? All you need is an appetite suppressing candy. All you need is AIDS. So Kellogg's OJ, made with 10% real orange juice. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So it's an orange juice flavored cereal. That I get. But would you fill the bowl of cereal with milk or more OJ?
Here's another question. Would it change the milk orange?
It might. It might taste like a creamsicle. That's another one of those things that might have just seemed too weird, but actually might have been delicious. Here's a product, I remember this controversy. New Coke. I remember being a little kid and my mom and dad drank Coke. And when Coke changed that formula and they got the new Coke and they tried it and they were so mad. My dad, I remember going to supermarket after supermarket trying to find all the Coke that wasn't new so you could stock up on it, but then not that far after they realized it was a failure and they brought back regular Coke. Did you fail to tag us? Now we have share your failure. Ooh, I got a good one. Driving my brand new convertible in the snow. Here's where the failure part comes in. Without collision insurance. That was the most expensive failure of my life. And I'll put it next to Grand Circus Film. I like it. And of course we exit through the gift shop.
I like how it's supposedly the lasagna in the tube.
It's all the food that failed? That's a good magnet. I approve. I was looking at postcards because I collect postcards. Who would know failing would be so much fun? We should fail more often. That was great.
That was good.
I love that museum. For a pop-up, that was really cool. There were a lot of products I wish did exist. A lot of weird foods I wish I could try. Or gaming consoles I wish I got to play. But I would recommend it. If you are in New York, come to New York, live in Brooklyn, travel to Brooklyn, Museum of Failure. I liked it. You approve?
I approve.
The Museum of Failure was not a failure. We had so much fun. This was awesome. I think we call it though.
I think so.
Museum of Failure. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels
Goodie.
and live life.
Sounds